Plans for a permanent tribute to Marcelo at Ellen Road are underway, and more information will be released in due course. They'll make an announcement on a new appointment, they say, tomorrow. So plenty for us to digest here on Super Sunday Matchday. Let's have our reaction then. Slightly inevitable, Clinton.
Yeah, you could say that, but I still didn't think Leeds would do it. I thought they would keep him to the end of the season. Listen, he's been unlucky with injuries, but what I said it, and I said it yesterday, I look at Bielsa and he is a top coach and he's had an unbelievable managerial career. It just didn't look like for me he had a plan B or a plan C. You cannot go, he went to Anfield in midweek and man marked. You can't do that against good players. You got to get, and that's where you got to change it. And I'm not going to question his managerial because he's managed at the top level. But what I will say, when you come to the Premier League, it's a different league, it's a demanding league, and probably Leeds are probably acted now thinking, we're in a relegation here, it's a big struggle. We've got some 4 or 5 big games that can determine whether we stay in the Premier League, and they've acted. Listen, it's sad to see Bielsa go, but if you don't change, it was always going to happen, and he didn't want to change. He believed in his ways, and he thought his ways were the right way. They were last season, finishing 9th, outstanding, but this season, yeah, they've not had the likes of Phillips, Bamford, injuries, but you've got to change the way you play, and he didn't change the way he played. Yeah,
Darren, do you agree with that? I mean, it did seem that he was going to sort of do the man marking no matter what, and it was pretty clear that it just wasn't working.
Yeah, it was a man went into an ideal. They had conceded 20 goals in their last 5 Premier League games, 60 goals so far this season. No other team in the Premier League has conceded as many goals. In fact, Swindon and Barnsley, only those 2 teams have conceded more goals by this stage of the campaign in Premier League history. Yeah. And of course we know what happened to them. Leeds were falling like a stone. It's a real shame because Bielsa is a guy who didn't just improve players like Jack Harrison and Calvin Phillips and Patrick Bamford and so many of the others, but he formed a real bond with the club and the supporters. And I know there's been fascination, for example, at his sides being beaten, an average of 3 goals a game recently. But the fans really do identify with him as a man, and he identified with them. He bought into the club, into the community. They say that he invested in the infrastructure of the club, built a gym at the training ground for the staff members. This was a guy who wasn't just in to collect his paycheck and try to get results. He was part of that footballing community, and that's why they love him so much. And I think even though he's gone, it's just listening to you reading the statement just there, I think that it is right that they should try to find some way to kind of get some lasting I don't know, memory, if you like, of his time at the club, because he's brought them back into the big time, and I think they will never forget what he's done for that club.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get more on this. We can join Tim Thornton, who's live for us in Leeds right now. Look, Tim, a difficult decision, they say. So, the right decision, do you think?
I think if you ask fans, there'll be an incredible amount of sadness here today. There is a lot of emotion. The vast majority of the fan base would have preferred Marcelo Bielsa to stay on for the remaining 12 games. He's created something here at Leeds which is unique. It's been an incredible journey, a journey that the fans didn't want to end, and they certainly didn't want it to end in this way. But Leeds have been dropping down the table, and the 3 defeats in the last week and the goals conceded, that has been the tipping point really as far as the club are concerned. The 6 goals conceded at Anfield, the 4 goals here last Sunday against Manchester United. What a thrilling game that was, 2-2 at one stage, and this place was rocking. And then of course yesterday the 4-0 defeat, but even in that game Leeds hit the woodwork twice and created a lot of chances, and the style of football has been unbelievable really for the fans to watch. It's given Leeds United an identity, but there was a feeling that something had to change, and we know that Marcelo Bielsa, he wasn't going to change. It's as simple as that. His philosophy has always been plan A, and if plan A doesn't work, then improve plan A. The club felt that there needed to be a change to keep Leeds in the Premier League, but I have to say the decision has been taken with a heavy heart, as we heard in the statement from Andrea Radrizzani. It's his toughest decision here at Leeds United. Bielsa will leave a legacy. I wouldn't be surprised if his name was sung around the ground between now and the end of the season. He is a legend here in Leeds, a much-loved figure. He's united a whole city and created something really, really special. So, yeah, the overriding emotion today, as far as Leeds fans are concerned, I think it's sadness, probably a little bit of anger as well that it's ended in this way. But Leeds have had to take a decision. It looks as though Jesse Marsch is the man that they want to bring in now to replace Bielsa. And as we heard a little bit earlier in the statement, the club are hoping to make an appointment by tomorrow.
Yeah, in terms of Jesse Marsch, I mean, plenty of the Leeds fans might not know much about him. The former Leipzig manager, isn't he? What can you tell us about him? Would he be a good fit, do you think?
Yeah, I think he would be a good fit. He plays a similar style of football. He's had a lot of success. He has managed in the MLS, had a lot of success there. Then went to RB Salzburg. They won the League and Cup double in consecutive seasons. It didn't work out for him at RB Leipzig, but he was only there for a very, very short period of time. He's actually somebody I spoke to earlier this week, and yeah, he seems like a great guy, and he could be a good fit for Leeds United, but it's going to be difficult for whoever comes in to succeed Marcelo Bielsa. That is going to be incredibly tough, and the only way I think he'll win the fans over is by getting results and keeping Leeds in the Premier League.
Yeah, and in terms of their position, you know, they're 16th in the table at the moment, but they've got a couple of games in hand over both Everton and Burnley. Are they facing the prospect of going down, do you think?
Well, it's a very real prospect, isn't it? I think that's why this decision has been taken when it has. But to provide a bit of context, Leeds have just had some very, very difficult fixtures. Even in the last week, they've played Tottenham, they've played Liverpool, they've played Manchester United. And they've done so without some of their key players, Calvin Phillips, Patrick Bamford, Liam Cooper, the captain, who helps to set the culture here at Leeds and he's such a leader. And yeah, it's been difficult for them, but there are fixtures coming up where Leeds United, I think, and the fans will feel they can pick up points and just to get over the line. It's the second season syndrome, isn't it? It's so difficult for teams in the second season to stay up, and if you can do that, then that provides a platform, I think, to really establish yourself as a Premier League force. So very, very difficult in the second season. If Leeds stay up, it will be a successful season, but they are on the brink a little bit at the moment, and they do need to start digging results out. But I'm sure there'll be a lot of disappointment here, the players as well, because a lot of them owe so much to Marcelo Bielsa. I think it's fair to say he's improved each and every single member of the squad at Leeds, and that happens very, very rarely. So, yeah, disappointment, sadness here, but 12 games to go, and Leeds need to find some results to stay in the Premier League.